throw a couple of passes today to your new wide receiver, Ricky Pearsall. What are your impressions of him after a couple of practices?
Yeah, he's done a good job coming in, obviously learning the playbook, coming to work every day. And so, as a quarterback and really the whole team, we always like young guys that can come in and they're willing to do, the dirty work to learn and start from the ground up. And he's done that. He's done everything right. And so getting out in the field, being able to throw him the ball and obviously seeing his hands, the way he moves, all of it, it's been good. So really excited to have him.
Are you no longer one of the young guys?
Yeah, man, I'm a vet. I don't know, man. I'm still just trying to get better every day, and I still understand that there's such a long road ahead of me in terms of getting better and what I need to do to get better. So that's where I'm at. But it's crazy. You got guys that are younger than me now on the team, and it's just new. It's different.
I was just saying how cool it is this year that you guys can go through the cut-ups and then you can work through something and you can actually go out on the field and do it this year. Have there been moments this year where it just feels, I mean, obviously I'm sure it's different, but does it feel different in terms of how advanced you are or further along you are at this point in the offseason than you have been in the past?
Yeah, I just think with the playbook and, the play calls and all that kind of stuff, it feels a little bit more smoother. It registers in my mind a lot quicker. So when I go out there, like I know what we're doing, and then now it's where can I get the ball to the right guy faster, and so sort of just processing those kinds of things helps. At quarterback, you can obviously continue to work on your arm strength and all that kind of stuff, but I think just the way you process, the way you go through reads, you can't get enough reps, and so that's where I'm at. Obviously, watching the game tape, coming into practice, and now running those plays. Right now during OTAs for me is huge, so getting better with different concepts and getting more comfortable and familiar more and more with the verbiage. So it's been good.
Brock, is the offense constantly evolving, or is what you're doing now just basically refresher stuff from last year, from previous seasons?
I mean, honestly, I would say it's evolving a little bit. Just there's certain plays and concepts that, we'd sort of run throughout the year, and that we get to when we're scheming teams. And then, in the off season, it's like, all right, we have these base plays and stuff, and really we don't run these a whole lot, but the plays that we do run, we're starting to install those early on and run them. And so I think it's evolving a little bit. But at the same time, we're still running some really good plays that, Kyle's had in forever in this offense and that have continued to show success year after year. So we always have to hone into those kinds of concepts early on in the offseason. But I would say we've got guys that have played. We understand, how to run this system pretty well. And we're able to do things, I think, a little bit quicker than years past. So
in the walkthrough portion towards the end of practice, Nick Bosa came flying into the backfield. We were able to step up and flew by him. Just the prospect, or what's it like having him on the field this time of year and when he's usually not here during OTAs?
I mean, it's sweet, man. You tell it means something to him, and to show up phase 3, practicing on the field, it's pretty special, So for all of us to see that, it's like, all right, if Bosa's taking it serious, then we all should. But regardless, being out in the field, giving our guys looks, the offensive line looks, for myself, pocket movement, all that kind of stuff, man. It's huge. And like I said, you can't get enough reps of it. But for him to be back in the building around the guys, man, it means a lot. And so it makes all of us excited to start rolling for the season.
Saw you throwing out the first pitch of the Giants game. Saw you on the stage with throwing beers at George Kittle. That whole celebrity part of it, I mean, you probably can't walk very many places now where people don't know who you are, and that's got to be something that's different for you in the last couple of years. How have you adjusted to that part?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, obviously, but, at the end of the day, I've said this a million times, but I just try to keep it simple in terms of who I am as a person, as a human. There's people that come up and want pictures and stuff, and it's like, dude, I was that kid growing up, and I always wanted whoever I was looking up to or whatever to give time and just be a human and talk and take a picture, sign some stuff. So I always remember that, and throughout all of this, the off-season stuff and doing different things, try to give back to people as best as I can and not be on a pedestal or anything like that. So that's how I look at it. But we've been able to enjoy some different events and stuff. Having an off season, not just rehabbing 24/7. So it's been good to hang out with the guys outside of football and have a little off season. So it's been good.
How important is that for your mental state to have that time and get to just have some fun and not be all about rehab?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge, especially being out in this area. Checking out, getting a better feel for the Bay Area, what it has to offer, the people, everything. It's been fun being able to sort of go out and explore and do different things. Last year, obviously, it's 24/7 rehab, go home, rest up, get ready for the next day of rehab. So now it's obviously get after it with my craft and the mental with the playbook and film and stuff. But then on the weekends and stuff, when guys are all able to get together and be able to have some fun together, it's been refreshing. So obviously we're all business on the field, but to get off the field and have those relationships, man, that's something that we'll always have, for the rest of our life. So.
Brock, what's the overall feeling like this time of year? Like, how much are you feeling the energy and excitement leading up to the season starting to build, or does that kind of happen more later when all the guys are here?
I mean, I feel it now for sure. Guys are coming in and competing. It's like, nothing's ever given to you. You gotta fight for your job. You gotta continue to have that little competitive nature in your mind every day when you walk in. Like, dude, I gotta find a way to get better, and you could feel that with everybody in the building. And so I'm excited. Obviously, there's some guys that aren't here, but once we all do get together again, come camp and everything, like it's gonna be sweet. Like it's gonna just take it to another level. But right now, we got guys that are learning everything. We're starting from the ground up. And for me, it's like, all right, we got the 2024 season right in front of us. So I'm excited for it.
How important is it that you guys, not you particularly, but it all gets worked out with Brandon Ayuk and he's back in this building and on the field?
I mean, yeah, I think it's extremely important. He's a playmaker, love throwing to him, love BA as a person. So, yeah, it's definitely important. Like I've said this before, it's out of my control. But, for me, I'm showing up every day trying to get better with the new guys and the guys that are here. And that is what it is. But hopefully, get settled soon.
Again with Halliburton and all last few days?
Nah, I've been letting it. Yeah, I'm leaving him alone, dude. He's balling, so letting him do his thing and definitely supporting him. And I got his back, so I'm really happy for him, man. Hope he goes all the way.
What do you think? Drumbeat for a while about potentially going to 18 games in the regular season schedule. What's your take on that?
I mean, if that is the case, I think 2 byes would be nice. That kind of thing. It's a long season, man. You go through so much physically and mentally, everything. But if we're going to extend it another game, I think another bye would be pretty nice. But at the same time, it's longer. So I don't know how everyone around the league feels about it, but I know that we're going through it every single week in and week out to get back for the next game. So I don't know. There's pros and cons to it. I don't really know how I feel 100% on it yet.
Brock, how do you feel about? Have you had any chance to throw with Cowing, and what do you think he's going to add? I mean, the guy with that kind of speed, does he create space out there?
Yeah, he's quick. He's twitchy. And just I'm impressed with just the way he's acted and interacted with guys. Very smart, very respectful, and a guy that I could tell he's going to get after it in terms of knowing what his job is. And as a quarterback, I feel like you're always looking for a guy that you can trust. And so yeah, I've seen that so far from him. I'm excited to see what he can do just in terms of taking off top and running downfield and everything once we get to it. So I'm really excited to have him.
The Mr. Irrelevant event is next month in Newport Beach. What is your memory of that? And do you follow who Mr. Irrelevant was this year? Are you kind of cognizant of all the irrelevance from your year forward?
Yeah, I mean, I've kept track and everything. It's been pretty cool just to see who's come after me and whatnot. But I know they do a great job down in Newport for a great cause more than anything. Yes, it's Mr. Irrelevant, but they're raising money and doing a great job of giving back to the community, which is pretty cool. So what they do is awesome. I'm all for it. Got their back, and they obviously celebrated me when I got drafted last, not knowing what the future was going to hold. So they've been great people, great organization, and yeah, I hope all the Mr. Irrelevants drafted moving forward have all the success in the world. So it's pretty cool.
You've been clear that you want Brandon signed and happy. Did you have to hold your breath at all through the draft, just with reports that they certainly, the 49ers certainly, John didn't deny that it could happen, with both Brandon and Debo, did you kind of like have to watch and to make sure that they were still on the team?
Yeah, for sure. You know, the draft is going on and stuff, and obviously you're excited to get guys that you're drafting. But at the same time, it's like, dang, dude, you know, we could have some kind of trade stuff happen and whatever. But like I said, all that's out of my control. I was sort of just sitting there, you know, waiting to see what our team was going to do and everything. And, you know, my job is to show up and rip it to the open guy and try to win games. So that's my mindset with it. But I do love my boys, and I obviously hope that we can all continue to play together.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ji'Ayir, how long did you allow yourself to process the Super Bowl and go through those emotions?
I'm still going through them emotions. Make it a game like that, man. You don't ever forget what it feel like. So I still, you know, think about Super Bowl. Yeah.
When you think about coming into your first OTA last year, where you were then and then where you are now, what do you think?
Way better from where I came in. Just adapting to the speed of the game. My job, my responsibility within certain coverages. I'm way more sharper. You know, I know different jobs in the defense now. Pretty much way better than I was covered in. It was horrible when I came in.
Are there some other just noticeable changes, I guess? You have a new coordinator. There's a lot of new personnel on the defensive side, too. So
Yeah.
Is it starting from scratch, or how is it?
Nick been around. He's been around. Real good guy, real great guy. We always talked last year. You know, I always pulled him to the side, asked him questions. So when he got the job, you know, it was pretty much, it was cool. It was easy for me, you know, to adjust because I've been having conversations with Nick. I know his vision. I know the way he sees football. He's going to be great for us.
Yourself as somewhat of a veteran now and talking to the younger guys and the rookies and trying to help them along at all?
Yeah, that vet word, man. There's so many guys in this league that play way longer than me, just as much as me, less, you know. So I don't approach the rookies like that, you know, the vet style. You know, I just try to preach the Niners culture, you know, how they move here, and do the best job I could in helping them grow in their careers.
Ji'Ayir, you had a real successful rookie year. If you could give advice to Malik Mustafa on this upcoming year, what would you advise him?
I just was actually talking to him earlier today, man. I told him just take his time. You know, don't try to rush it. You know, it's a process. You're not going to just step on the field and know it all. You know, I didn't do it. I don't think nobody ever has stepped on the field their rookie year and just knew it all. So take your time with it. Enjoy it. You know, enjoy the little moments, and eventually it'll come.
Ji'Ayir, you mentioned that you're still kind of getting over the Super Bowl, like the mental aspect of it. There's a physical toll of playing that long of a season. What was that like for you, and what's it been like trying to get your body back to where you're ready to do this right now?
Oh, man, that was as long as I ever played football in my life, man. Coming right out of college into the draft training, senior bowls, all that training, then combine and rookie mini camp. Longest year of my life. Took my body a while, you know, to get back. Still getting my body back. Everything's a process, man. It's gonna come eventually. And when it do come, I'll be ready.
What kind of stuff do you have to do to get back?
Just get back in the physical shape of things, you know. When you play long seasons and all the contact and stuff with football, you know, it constantly beats your muscles up. Your body aches, you know, stuff like that. So when you take that time off, that little bit of time off you take by a week or two, different stuff for different guys, the body goes back into a little hibernation mode, you know, so you got to get it back ramped up and get ready for the year.
Ji'Ayir, with this being your first offseason, did you have like push notifications on for all the signings and things like that? Were you researching the new players coming in?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm worried about, I researched, not researched, I watched the draft when we draft. I really didn't pay attention to anybody else. Just to say what's up to the guys when they got drafted, you know, try to get them to feel comfortable coming in here. But no, I didn't pay attention to nobody else. Nah.
How would you describe Nick Sorensen's leadership style as a coordinator?
Great leader. Great leader, knows the game in and out, knows the game in and out. And, real good players coach. Can relate to the players, has been a player before, knows what it feels like, been in our shoes. So very relatable, you know, great leader. He's going to be great for us.
You got anything else?
Good. Thank you. Yep.
Why attend these voluntary sessions?
I think it's just good to get around the new guys. We have a lot of new faces this year, so just kind of helping the new guys out. And I don't think there's really been much of a normal off season for me in terms of just we had COVID, we had my injury, and the contract situation. So it's kind of a new year. I want to be around. It's good to be around, so I'm here.
What are your impressions of some of those new guys that they brought in here? A lot of them.
I like them. Yeah, it's a bunch of good dudes. Just got here, so we're gonna keep working. And I like our edge guys that we picked up, and I'm excited to work with them.
Do you know much about? I know you played against him, Leonard Floyd, and what's been kind of your early read on him?
I think he's super skilled rusher, good length, and he's more athletic than I even realized. And I think guys like him, when they come to our scheme, the best is brought out of them. So I'm excited to see what potential he has. He's year 9, so I feel like you, as a D lineman, you could keep improving all the way through 10 years in this league. So I'm excited to see what he's got.
How well did you know Sorensen when he was assistant here, and have you gotten to know him a lot better? What's the relationship maybe right now?
I knew him pretty well. He was always just a good dude around the facility. He did our ball meetings, so he's good in front of a group. He's a good leader. He knows the scheme really well, which is good. I was happy to see him promoted. He called me in the offseason. We talked. I just congratulated him, and I think he's going to bring something similar to what we had with D'Amico, so it'll be good.
Do you know Brandon Staley well at all? I mean, obviously Joey played for him.
Don't know too much about him. I've obviously heard from my brother, but I don't even think I've said hi yet. I haven't ran into him yet, but I'm sure I'll get to know him.
When you say like similar to D'Amico, the energy or system?
Maybe a little different energy, but I think just knowing the system from the front to the back, I think he knows how it ties in, and he's been around with some really good coaches. So I think it'll be pretty seamless, and I think we'll be firing on all cylinders.
You're 3 months removed from the Super Bowl now, so just how have you, I guess, digested it, and I guess physically everything good to go?
Yeah, I feel really good. I think it's been one of my better off seasons of just kind of, it was a long year, so I took it nice and slow to get back into it. I'm not as young as I once was, so I'm taking a little slower, but everything's great. I'm feeling as good as I've felt. I'm excited to actually get some practice in. Last year was kind of tough getting thrown in week 1 after a walkthrough, so that was another reason I'm excited to be here, is just to get practicing a little bit. In-season practice is one thing, but actually being able to work your stuff and not have a game coming up is good. With the Super Bowl, unfortunately, I know how to bounce back from tough losses, so it was rough for a little bit, but now it's just annoying when people bring it up.
Since the end of last season, we've seen Brock on TV commercials and on the stage with Luke Coombs and throwing out the first pitch in a Giants game. But he seems like a guy that's totally unaffected by celebrity, which he has now. But what have you noticed in his leadership style and the way he carries himself? Any difference at all?
I think he's definitely getting a little more vocal within the building, and yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to change. I don't think he's somebody that's going to change even when he gets paid next year. So he's a man of faith, and he kind of reminds me of Scotty Scheffler, but except for after he got arrested. But just super humble and really good kid. And yeah, he's definitely famous. He's famous for
Do you know
sure.
Scheffler?
I don't, just from watching.
You saw Armstead get released, obviously it meant so much to the defensive line and to the team. I mean, Kyle and John were pretty open that they were willing to talk about trading Debo or Ayuk at draft. Does that just what's that feel like in the locker room when those sort of jolts happen?
I didn't even know that happened, and I wasn't here. But you're talking about this offseason?
Yeah,
they were
Armstead,
talking about?
Eric did get released, so that's certainly one thing.
Yeah, it's a tough business for sure. You have to have thick skin, and I haven't gone through that, but I think you just have to understand that it is a business, and the team's going to try and get as good as it possibly can with or without you. And you have to look out for yourself. That's why you go through holdouts and do certain things that seem selfish in the moment, but it is what it is, and when everything's settled, we're going to come together as a team and try and go get one.
Nick, what's the overall feeling around the group right now? Like, how much does it feel like the excitement of the ramp up to the season, even though it's early?
It feels good. It's been a couple days for me, so I like all the new guys. I'm getting to know everybody. But I think the past is in the past, and we're ready to go.
Do you talk to BA at all? Have you talked to BA at all about handling the business part of this? He's going through some similar.
We chat a little bit, but not too much about the details. I just told him keep his head up and try and stay positive through it all.
What were your first impressions when you heard what your schedule would be and that Aaron Rodgers is first up?
It'll be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Nick, excuse me, kind of alluded to this, but the fact that last year you had to have the holdout, you said that affected you somewhat early in the season. If you hadn't had that experience, would you be here right now? I mean, was that part of the motivation for being here early, just to have the opposite of what last year might have been?
No, I don't think that's one of the reasons, but I just talked to Kyle, and he kind of asked me. He kind of stated how he felt about why it would be good for me to be here, and asked if I agreed, and I 100% did agree. So it's not like I'm missing too much. I think I'm out here. It's a little less workload than I'm doing back home, so it's kind of a good active recovery thing for me, and I'm getting football work in specifically, so that's good. I'm not. It's not compromising my training at all, and I get to meet all the guys, so it's positive.
How did Joey take the news?
Of what?
Your brother. Did you have to let him down and say, I'm leaving you?
Oh no, he's there. He's got a new regime over there, so he's.
Did he ditch you first?
I actually thought I was coming next week until recently, so I was gonna have one more week at home, but we're both in California.
And then last thing, but anything you could share about Kyle's reasons that you agreed with for being here?
Yeah, just the things I already stated, just getting around the guys and just getting the football stuff honed in a little bit before camp starts.
Nick, you haven't been afraid to speak out on player safety issues and things like that when it comes to playing services and things like that. The 18-game schedule has been kind of discussed again here recently. What is your kind of take on that possibility?
I don't know how many games they could just keep adding. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why one more needs to be added, but yeah, it's not my job to.
Suffice to say, you'd be against it.
Yeah, I mean, I think 16, 4-4, 4-4 was a good little setup, but it's all good.
If
I'll play it.
If they do, you'd want another bye, 2 byes.
Yeah, but then we got to shorten the off-season program a little bit. But no comment.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.